Something that might make sense at this point is restructuring our pages in our page folder. If we go back to our site folder, you see we have front-facing pages like About, Contact, and Home, but then we also have administrative pages like Admin Users. As the types of content that we need to manage grows, we're going to have more and more of these pages. So it makes sense to just separate this out from the front-facing pages and make it easier for people who are going to be editing content to not accidentally mess up an admin page and to know when something is an admin page. So what we'll do is create a folder inside of this pages folder where we can put those. I'm going to hoist this pages folder here, and I'm going to create a new folder, and we'll call it admin. Now I'm going to drag admin users over to admin. Okay, so now what happens when you go to that page in the browser? If we go back to the browser, and in our address bar, we go ahead and type it in because we don't have a link directly to this yet. And we type in admin users.php. You see things look pretty strange. We have the right content. If you look down here, we have our list of users. We have our sidebar that would display our featured products. We have our menu listing and our account listing and our logo here. But the problem is that all of our styles are gone. All of the images are broken. And if we click on one of these pages, like the home page, you'll see a whole slew of errors. So the problem is with the paths that we're using for various items in our HTML. So if we go back here to the admin users page, if we were to look at the source of this image, what I'm going to do is open image in new tab so we can see the full URL. We see that it's in site/admin/images/logo.png. Now this logo is not in the admin folder, but because we added the admin folder back here for our admin users, and we're using a relative path in order to point to the logo, now we're not seeing it here in our content. The same thing is happening with our menu items. So you see if we click on one of these, I'm going to go ahead and click on products. Up here in the URL, we're now looking in admin/products when really it should be site/products. Now, if you've worked with HTML and CSS a bit, then you've probably run into the distinction between absolute and relative paths, but let me demonstrate it really quick. Let's look at our menu items as an example for this. If we go to our sites folder, I'm going to move up a level here, and we open up our page template file. If you look at our menu links, what you see is index.php, and there's no slash in front of it. What this tells the browser to do is to look for this index.php in whatever folder that we're currently in, and that folder is determined by the URL. So if we look at the URL in the browser, it will be in site/admin. So if we click on home here, we're going to a page that doesn't actually exist. It's a little bit more complicated with our current script because what we're doing now is routing everything through our index.php file, which is in the site folder. So what we're seeing here is our index.php file trying to include a file that doesn't exist. So you see here, it's trying to include pages/admin/index.php, and it says failed to open stream. And because that's not being included properly, then lots of other things aren't working as well. If we look at where this logo is coming from in our page template file, you'll see that it's images/logo.png. Again, because there's no slash at the beginning here, it's looking for the logo in the site/admin folder. Now, if we want this to work right now with an absolute path, we can simply add /site/ and then this will point to the right location. I'll go ahead and save this and jump back to the browser and refresh, and you see our logo shows up just fine. We could use this solution for everywhere where we're running into issues, both with includes, our menu items, our style sheet, which is being drawn from the wrong location because it uses a relative path as well. And that would work for now. But the problem is that if we launch this site, if we go live with it, chances are it's not going to be in a subfolder called site anymore. We'll probably upload it straight to a domain name. So it will be amazing.com/ and then index.php. So as soon as we upload the file to our live site, we'll need to change all of those links again to remove that site. And then if we want to edit things locally as a development server and then upload to our live site, we'll have to remove that folder every time that we upload. And chances are we're going to make some mistakes if we do that. So the solution is to route all of our URLs through a function that will automatically check to see where our site is and will return the correct URL that will work no matter if we're on a local machine in a subfolder or on a live site on the base folder of our domain. So in this next set of changes, that's exactly what we do.